Back in the studio, everybody. Here we are.
Yeah.
We're all here.
We're all here.
We're all here.
Good to see Glenn.
So there's one thing that's a little bit different. And I'd like to just address it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, you've shaved your head.
I have.
I had a vivid dream last night that I had shaved my own head. And it's very surreal that you walked in here with a shaved head this morning.
It could be that we have an E.T. Elliott.
There's a psychic connection there.
Yes.
I felt the shaving of your head and it went into my subconscious and haunted me in my dream. Actually, I liked how it looked in my dream.
Did I feel the 3 beers you had at like 8 o'clock?
You might have felt them, and I think it was more than 3.
Yeah. Well, at 8, it was about 3.
So 3 deep at 8? Yeah, that's probably about right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
What's up, Glenn?
Do you want to stick your dicks in my mouth?
Not yet.
No, I mean...
Maybe later.
Why would you say that?
Just a thought.
I did shave my head. I did have my head shaved for, I'm doing just like Glenn, I'm doing a hair bit for a role in the show that I do for Apple called Mr. Quest, and we needed a completely look.
Mr. Quest, a mystery quest.
You were doing a Mr. Quest thing,
Quest, yeah.
You shaved your head for it.
Well, yes,
you had a reason
I needed a new look, but also, if I'm being dead honest, I just wanted to mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to mix it up. Sometimes I like to do impulsive things and shave my head.
Yeah, man. I get summer's coming, like starting to feel warm.
Yeah.
And
I also look at
start.
these. I'm wearing like a new style of shoe, which I don't think I've seen you wear versions of this.
I have that same exact shoe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which during a press thing. Someone was like, "Hey, you'll look a little sharper in an all white shoe like this."
I had somebody dress me for some silly event, and she said she's a very good stylist, and she said, "No more of these Air Jordans you're wearing." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because you're not a 14-year-old child."
Oh.
Well, she said, "You're gonna look like a guy who." I like that I came in here, and you don't know if I'm going to do a podcast or go bowling. At any given moment, or a rally, some sort of rally.
Yeah, that's the problem with the shaved head.
What's the problem with shaved head? Yeah.
The white sneaker tells me that you're not going to go to a rally, which is nice. I feel safer.
The white sneaker tells me that you think that you're pretty soon you're going to be headed up to meet whoever you believe your God to be.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah.
Right. That's
well,
right.
if I had like a nice little like a hairpiece in the back, that's what I was thinking.
I saw
might be
a dad
nice.
at my school at graduation who had a little had shaved his head but kept a little rat tail and dyed it bright yellow.
Okay.
And he had a big beard going too, and it looked pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I couldn't do it myself, but I mean, I could, but I would need an excuse, like it's for a part.
Yeah. Now, what was his? It's just he was just going for a look. Is he a Hare Krishna? Because that's the Hare Krishna.
And now he's like an awesome chef, and he's just like fucking around.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it was cool.
Mixing it up.
It was cool. I also saw Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh yeah, how's Dwayne doing?
He looks fucking great, man.
Really?
Holy shit.
Yeah. Muscular, huh?
I feel like he works out or something. I had a thing that's happened to me this morning. So I went to make a piece of toast. Do you guys remember carbs? Yeah. You guys probably haven't had it in a long time, but I was going to have a piece of toast. And I pulled it out, I put it between my teeth and I was tying up the bag. And then the smell of the bread was like aluminum. So something in the bag was moldy. Mm-hmm. And I got freaked out that I had the moldy bread in my mouth, on my lips, and my tongue. So I grabbed some whiskey.
Yeah.
And I swilled it around.
Yeah.
That's the move.
Just to kill.
Like vodka, something to kill the bad guys.
Wait,
right?
let me talk about whiskey for a second, because so Todd Bierman, who is one of our directors on Sunny and also Mythic Quest, I was just at a wedding with him in Texas. Oh. And Texas, it's a free-for-all in Texas, of course, which is what's great about Texas. And we were at this hotel.
We've discussed Texas, sure.
Sure. And we were having a blast, and we were packed full of people all over this hotel, all over the city, really. And Todd and I then traveled back together, and we were sitting next to each other for a good 4 hours. And those airplanes are loud. So we're screaming into each other's faces, having a conversation on the way home. We also happened to be drinking bourbon. Because
I love
why
sitting
not?
next to you guys. I love sitting next to guys like you on an airplane.
Well, no, it's just
screaming across the aisle at each other.
No, we were sitting right next to each other. And what I mean by screaming is just that the plane was loud and we were having a conversation. The point I'm trying to make is that we were very close when we were having the conversation. And then Todd came home and he popped hot for COVID.
He popped hot.
He's supposed to be directing the episode of MythQuest.
Mhm.
That's why Meg's not here, because she had to step in and direct the episode. I couldn't, because I'm not allowed to set, because I was in proximity to somebody who tested positive. However, I've since taken 3 tests and I'm negative. And I'm actually going to credit the bourbon with that. Now, I don't have the science to back this up.
Also,
could the bourbon have killed the COVID on the way?
We just
out of
don't
his
know.
mouth?
There's so much we just don't know.
No.
You know, if that was true, I feel like the island of Ireland would have never gotten COVID, but it did. So probably not.
Did they? No, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they did.
Are you believing the mainstream media these days, Charlie? Because
Oh, no.
Okay.
I get all my information from my own subconscious.
fair. Glenn, you're looking great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I just felt like wearing a collared shirt today and making my mouth so that you guys could stick your dick in it whenever you wanted. I mean, I was just like, you know how when you wake up and you have a certain feeling, you're like, what am I going to wear today?
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to project? You know what I mean? What do I want the world to see me as? So who, do I want to, where do I want a dick to go?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you just sort of act accordingly. You dress accordingly, and you formulate your mouth a certain way because you want to, you either invite that sort of thing or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the thinking there. But it is great to finally be back in the studio with you guys. I will say, I missed seeing you in person.
It's good.
I agree. I'm so happy to be back in this studio.
I guess for the non-creeps, for the listeners, we should say that Glenn is back in the studio, but in a very specific way. His body is held very still.
Mm-hmm.
His mouth is in penis receiving shape.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it doesn't have to be a penis. It could be receiving anything, really.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Anything round.
Anything you could jam
round
anything in there.
Put a golf ball in there because
Sure.
kind of funny.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Put a ping pong ball in there.
You have like a rubbery look to your skin,
Mm-hmm.
but not too rubbery. I think in a dark room you'd really give someone a start. Why do they call it?
Tell you what,
start?
it feels like you walk around LA and you start to. I never saw myself as someone who would get the amount of plastic surgery that I've had.
Look at that! Look at that work.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm now at a point where I've Botoxed so much that I can't even move.
Well, you've taken plastic surgery to a new level and replaced your body with plastic completely.
Yes, yeah. Plastic's durable and it lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
As we can see by the oceans.
And
you can't get rid of
Top
it.
Gun
So I'll live
Maverick.
forever now.
Have you guys seen Top Gun Maverick?
oh yeah,
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait.
because you know what? You know what's entertaining? Planes going 700 miles an hour and then blowing things up.
Yeah.
Do you notice how they didn't name any enemy?
Oh,
They
yeah.
were saying
Very clear.
the bad guy.
Very clear.
The bad guy is enriching their uranium. Oh
Are you
man!
serious?
Very
That is so. That's literally exactly like our last Lethal Weapon episode, where we're like, don't name a specific.
Don't name a certain
region
market.
of the world.
Don't name a certain.
Do
market.
not upset a certain market.
Don't upset any markets. The bad guy is enriching their uranium. We have to get in there, and so I kept leaning over to Mary Elizabeth during the big action sequences, being like, "They're in Canada. The bad. Look at all the snow. The bad guy's Canada."
What were they implying? Was it Russia? It's hard to say. They really were being nondescript.
They really
Because that
was.
topography's in China. That topography's in
There
North
was
Korea.
I feel like there was desert, and then there was snow, and then
They
So
wanted to
Mongolia.
cover all their bases.
Yeah.
Cover all the bases.
yeah.
And you couldn't see
I think
any of all the guys in the opposing airplanes. You couldn't see. They had masks.
No.
You couldn't
They
see.
did have sort of very Cold War kind of decals on their planes,
Yeah, but I think they were suggesting that those were bought. Those were relics bought by the former Soviet Union. I think they
Yeah.
covered every base they possibly could.
It was.
Are you guys
a
fucking
ton of
kidding
fun.
me? It's literally exactly what we did in the Lethal Weapon episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they were like, we're going to make this as vague as possible, and it's still a good movie. You don't even know who they're fighting against.
Buddy,
How do
not
you-
only is it good, it's the same exact movie that they made the first time. The same exact movie.
Well,
And and they leaned all the way into it. Tom Cruise looks fantastic.
he does. He does.
Tom Cruise is a different. I don't know that he's human, right? Maybe he's not human,
Yeah. Who knows what the heck he's doing? But
but it's working.
Yeah.
I don't look at his face and think, wow, he's got as much plastic surgery as Glenn has.
Yeah, look at all that work. But you know what is also, speaking of where to put penises, bums are making a mess all over the city.
Wow.
And
okay. I was not when I knew that this was the episode we were going to be talking about. And I popped it on last night. And again, just to remind everybody, I have not seen these episodes in well over a decade.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly disliking this episode at the time, thinking we went too far with the costumes. We went too far with the silliness,
and
with the parody. And it was just getting a little bit off the rails. And I watched it and thought it was one of the funniest episodes we've ever done.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I watched that fucking thing and I was like, oh my God, there's a freedom to the storytelling that we have, which is to be like, basically, whatever we think is going to be fucking funny works, right? So whether it's the cat, who, by the way, it was so hot in that cop car in Philly, the cat's mouth is wide open because it's panting out of its mouth. Something I've never seen a cat do. It's like heavy breathing.
So, yeah, as I recall, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I was thinking about this too. I think we shot the interior cop car stuff in downtown LA, and then we shot the exterior cop car stuff in Philly. So I believe we actually shot that in downtown LA, but I do know it was the dead of summer, wherever it was. And you are right. Cats don't generally pant unless they are just like beyond hot. So if you look, you can see we're all sweating. Like we're all very, we're glistening with sweat in that scene.
You know what? You're probably right. That probably was downtown LA because we would not have brought the cat and the cat trainer to Philly.
Right.
That would have been like
that's right.
An extra cost that wasn't necessary, right? We would have been like, well,
we could have.
We can shoot all the cat stuff in LA. And then...
I do remember how careful we were with that cat. And there's obviously there's all sorts of regulations about how you are to be treating animals on set, and they're there for a good reason. And we were very, very careful about that health, the cat's safety. So much so that I remember the joke at the end was that he gets Agent Jack Bauer gets blown to safety from the car.
Yeah,
and we couldn't even. We just wanted to. Just not even throw the cat, just lightly place him.
Just have him drop from the top of the frame down.
Exactly.
A cat will jump off a bookshelf and land on its feet, no problem.
Yes.
So
yes.
So we're like, can it drop from above lens height?
In fact, how about we don't drop it? We just let the cat stand on an elevated platform, no higher than a table, and we'll just hold a treat, and he can just jump down.
It jumps down to get
and do
what
his
it wants.
one thing. But they were I remember being very strict. And if you look at that shot, he barely falls from. It just looks like he's placed there.
I'd forgotten
I was
that
so beyond frustrated when we were shooting that because I had owned cats my whole life
and chucked
I
them
felt
all
like
over
I understood.
the place.
I used to throw cats across the room. That's fine.
Yeah, the cat loves being chucked around.
Yeah, Charlie chops cats.
Chop cat, chuck cat.
Well, no, but a cat can jump. A cat can jump from a 2-story window and be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I felt like I was like, you guys are cat trainers, and I feel like you don't understand cats at all. You don't get it. You don't understand what they're capable of. And it was just so frustrating but we didn't actually want like what you were talking about, Rob, because if a cat jumps on its own, it's going to land on its front feet first, and then it's going to plop down on we wanted it to land on all 4 feet at the same time. So we literally just said, we put the camera as low as we could possibly put it. We just were like, let it just drop it from not even a foot. I mean, it was like a 1.5 feet.
The way that you would place a cat, almost the way that you would move your cat from, say, a table you didn't want him on, you just wanted to put him on the ground. The way that everybody drops their cat. They don't throw it to the ground like a baseball, but they also don't just carefully place him down. We were being very respectful to the animal.
I wasn't.
Now, I will say, watching it, I'd forgotten about that moment. And when I saw like the cat with like the smoke coming off of it or whatever, which we must have added in post. I don't know how we did that, but like, I got a chuckle out of it.
It worked.
Yeah. Although I was more watching that to be like, oh, what was the original joke? I bet that I was trying to push for that we just blow the cat up. And then we were like, or the network was like, it's too much. I can't remember, but
that sounds right to me.
Yeah, my instinct was like,
no, I think right from the the we were like, this cat can survive. This cat can survive anything. It can survive anything. And then at the end,
but I feel, I do believe that Charlie's sense of humor, at least at one point, would have said, well, isn't it isn't it funnier that we're setting up that he will survive anything, and then the final moment is he won't survive a car blowing up. Yeah, I can see that.
The guy that we buy the cat from, the expression he gives when you say and throw in that cat, it's the oddest look. But he's like, you're like, what? Like, is the cop car for sale? It's like, everything's for sale, and we're like, we'll take it and throw in that cat, and he gives like this little like happy look that he's finally selling the cat. It's amazing.
Well, let's start from the beginning because the opening scene is
Danny's good friend Tracy.
Yep, Tracy,
who's been in a lot of movies.
Most famously, I think Batman.
Batman is like the Joker's henchman.
Yeah, Bob.
I think the character's name is Bob.
Is that right?
Yeah, and Tracy's been in a million movies for Repo Man, and he's just been around forever.
Yeah,
and he was Danny's friend.
Yep, and
he wanted to be on the show, and we said, "You want to be a masturbating bum?" He was like, "Sure."
Who gets beat up? And one of those trash cans that Caitlin is hitting him with.
Yeah,
that was an actual trash can, and they had not either they had not switched it out,
or she grabbed the wrong one.
She grabbed the wrong one.
One was a rubber lid, and one was a metal lid, and she picks up the metal lid, and then bam!
Yeah,
and he goes like,
whoa! What kind of show is this?
Yeah.
Is this a student film?
Yeah.
Hey, can we give me a stunt guy for this?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no. What happened was they did have a stunt guy. If you watch the episode, it's a stunt guy. It's a stunt guy, and he's getting hit with a rubber thing. And then when they switched it out, because I think Jerry wanted to get one shot so that you could actually see Tracy's face. Mm-hmm. And so it was a different setup. And I believe, they just forgot to place the prop in the right place, or maybe Caitlin grabbed the wrong trash can lid. But yeah, she bashes him with an actual trash can.
She bashed him up good.
And it's in the outtakes. I think it's in the season 3 bloopers.
Mm-hmm. I'm wearing, this is the episode where I'm wearing a t-shirt as an homage to Jerry, who was our director.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that t-shirt, remember what it says?
Something Dick knows.
What are you looking at, Dick knows?
What are you looking at, Dick knows?
What are you looking at, Dick
But
knows?
the best part of it is that there's no question mark at the end. So it's a question,
right?
But it's more of a statement. What are you looking at, Dick knows? And that's taken verbatim from the movie Teen Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
That is right. Jerry Levine's character Styles wears a t-shirt, albeit not sleeveless, I don't think, in the movie Teen Wolf. That says, "What are you looking at, Dick knows?" And so that was a tribute to our director.
Yeah,
I remember finding Teen Wolf disturbing as a kid. Like seeing the trailers and being like, I'm uncomfortable with the hairy face.
Well, why is it that somebody turns into a wolf and they can play basketball?
I don't know.
Better than everybody, because I don't know that wolves are good at basketball.
I would not.
I have a theory about that.
No, I would not think a wolf.
I have a theory
would be good
about
at basketball.
that.
About why a wolf would be good at basketball?
No. Here's you're not wrong, first of all. But if I were to have to justify it, what I would say is, and maybe if I was in those, production meetings back in the 80s, having that conversation and snorting line after line of cocaine as we were discussing these ideas, I would have said, well, it's not that a wolf is better at basketball. It's that he would be that good at basketball if he had the physical prowess of a wolf. In other words, Michael J. Fox's character is actually a good basketball player. He's just small and weak. If he had the body of a werewolf, he would be able to do all of the things.
It's like The Fly. It's like The Fly, where Jeff Goldblum, right? Yes. He has the mega strength of a fly.
Yeah. You can also melt your food by vomiting on it. Yeah.
I believe it also made him very popular with the ladies. Now
that was an odd one. That was
confusing.
I don't really.
That's
see
confusing.
How that, that's confusing.
No, but Hairy Men Everywhere watched that movie and they were like, see, and the women were still like, I don't see. Guys, I think we've talked about this before on the podcast.
I think we have too.
I think we've talked about Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the problem. We ask Meg, she's not even here. We ask her to cut it. Again, I've mentioned this on the podcast. I know, but she doesn't cut it. And now then we look like assholes. Because we've already had this conversation, but we spend so much time together. We don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know. We don't know.
Well, let's get back to the episode. One thing I really loved was the pacing.
Oh, yeah?
I love the pacing of the episode. We move so quickly from scene to scene to scene. It feels very economical.
It's light, right? Like we buy a cop car and we want to drive around in it and get free hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We all just start taking it too far in our own specific ways. You and Caitlin want to clean up the streets because we have someone masturbating in our alley, and it's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that.
The joke of the cops dropping you off in the bad neighborhood and then the gunshot and everyone scattering is great. Like, and then the taking it the next level when you say, and this I do feel like we've talked about on the show, but like about like, hey, this guy doesn't. We got to get out of here. Let's find someone who looks safe.
We very clearly say we are in an African-American neighborhood, which is a bad neighborhood from these characters' point of view. And then you're watching it going, oh, wow. Okay, that's very specific
you say
statement.
you're in like a lower socioeconomic
African-American neighborhood. That's what I said. But that's what sets up the joke that's coming.
Yeah, that's what sets up the joke, which is that then you walk right past the nice-looking man and you go to your dad who's playing the crackhead.
Yeah.
And he pulls a gun on you.
And we suggest that these characters believe that this is a bad neighborhood simply because they're people.
That is a great way to do a joke about racism, about these characters' racist perspective on where they are.
Yes, and that is my actual dad, who is playing the crackhead. I guess he's a crack. We don't know if he's a crackhead. Maybe he's a meth head. He's clearly on drugs of some sort. Yeah, and he points the gun up at us.
Yeah,
that's my dad,
and gives you a big, disgusting, toothy smile.
Yeah,
which I got to say was, his performance in that moment is pretty terrific. Did you say did he do a little bit of acting when he was younger? Did he do some plays or something?
I don't say he
did. Or he played Joseph in the
Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor
Dreamcoat.
No, just like some kind of like church thing.
Oh, probably,
probably right.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think he had any he doesn't have any background, and he's just he was game.
There were a lot of actors in this episode that were from Philly.
Yeah,
like the kid that we kind of mug for jaywalking was like a Philly actor, and then the hot dog guy.
Yep, or maybe from New York that came in, but either way, they were East Coasters, that's for sure.
They might have been from New York, but I feel like we did like Philly casting sessions back in the day more often.
We did,
but Glenn's cop character is so great.
Glenn's cop and those glasses.
So great.
That was was fun.
They did a movie
jam everybody up.
Like 8 years later, and getting jammed up. That was taken straight from NYPD Blue. I was obsessed with NYPD Blue, and all they talked about was getting jammed up and jamming each other up, and I don't want to jam you up, and that just felt like good cop talk. So a few years later, they did a movie called Let's Be Cops.
The Jake Johnson movie.
Yes, with Damon Wayans Jr. And they essentially just found a cop car, started driving around, and started getting treated like cops. So then they decided that they were going to act like cops and get all the stuff. And I remember when the movie came out, and we all said, we did this episode. We did this exact episode, and now they're making a movie out of it. And it was an independent movie, but I think it made some money for them, and it did pretty well. And everybody's saying, you're stupid. Well, then I ran into Jake a few years. In fact, I worked with Jake a few years ago, and I brought that up to him, and he goes, oh yeah, I think the writers saw that episode and thought it was funny. They should just make a whole movie about it.
It might not be too late to sue.
Shall we?
It might not be too late to sue. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get litigious.
Should we get litigious?
Yeah.
I would
get litigious.
I would be afraid we would be opening ourselves up to those same lawsuits.
All right, forget.
I mean, I literally just said we stole the jamming stuff up from NYPD.
I mean, everybody steals. That's the thing.
That's the thing. We're all stealing. All right, gang. Charlie forgot to cash this stack of checks on his keyboard, and now he's lost a small fortune.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I just haven't been feeling like walking to the bank for the last 10 years or so.
Did you know that there's such a thing as mobile deposit now?
Yeah, but that's a lot of work too. And then there's an app, there's passwords, it's too much.
But today you can help Charlie recoup his keyboard money with this ad from our friends at Shopify.
Mm-hmm.
Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses. So now any type of business can sell goods and services digitally, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed, including startups, upstarts, and established businesses. Look, scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility, but I personally love how Shopify has the tools and resources to make it easy for any business to succeed, from down the street to around the globe.
Whoa, it's more than a store, okay? Shopify grows with you. You can gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. This is possibility, and it's powered by Shopify.
So go to shopify.com/sunny, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features.
Grow your business with Shopify today. Guys, go ahead and grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/sunny. Right now, that's shopify.com/sunny. Let's talk about the music of this episode. The music of this episode makes this episode work. And we were
it was just another case of us doing something very broad and then the music leaning into it all the way. And the music
we get in the editing room and we're using our usual like, and it's not, cutting together right. Yeah. It doesn't feel right. And we start digging around and we find this sort of like 70s Serpico-esque like cop music. And suddenly it's just stitching the whole thing together in a great way. And I do miss I watched that episode and there's an innocence to what we're doing that I really miss. And by innocence, I just mean like a lack of experience in a good way, which is that we don't know what the show is yet. We don't know what works or what doesn't work. And we're kind of like, well, maybe this will be funny. Mm-hmm. And then it is, which is good.
It played pretty well.
I kind of want to put my finger inside Glenn's mouth.
I was just thinking the same thing. You were telling that story, and
you're looking at his mouth.
I'm looking at Glenn. I'm thinking
it hasn't moved for however long we've been talking. You want to put your thumb in there?
Not my thumb.
It's waiting for you. I'm waiting for you.
You want to put something private in there?
No. I'm looking around for something to put in there, like a cigar or something that we could. But
a cigar would be fun.
Would you like a cigar?
I don't know that we have access to.
I doubt there's one.
Are you getting thirsty? At some point, I could.
How deep does it go?
Well,
let me just put your thumb in there.
I'll take the mic with me here.
Hang on.
Or I can use his mic.
Yeah, you can use his mic. Yeah.
Is that hot? Is that a hot mic?
Yeah, it's hot mic.
All right, I'm gonna stick my finger. Oh
wow! I take more than a thumb.
Oh, buddy, that goes into your brain.
It goes all the way back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Hold on.
So that guy's.
Oh my god!
That sucker's functional.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry about that, Glenn. Sorry about that.
Sorry, buddy.
You
Sorry.
Right? You okay?
No, it's okay. It's all right. I asked for it. I'm asking for it.
Yeah. That was very specifically. That was designed for something.
Oh yeah.
Couple things about this episode. I don't know if you guys recall, but that opening sequence with Tracy masturbating and us just standing there watching him was not the original opening sequence of the episode, and we completely cut it that way.
This rings a bell. This rings a bell. What was the original scene?
Is some of it in the bloopers?
Yeah, there would have had to have been a lot of dialogue, a conversation about what we were seeing. And we probably got to the editing room and realized there was no words necessary.
Yeah, so the scene was there. Right. So the scene of you guys running into him, but you were probably saying XYZ and he was making noises and then we just landed on silence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when Tracy, kind of looks up at us and gives us that big smile, it's just, I laughed my ass off and I knew I was in for a ride. I very much enjoyed that.
Yeah, same.
I liked every once in a while to picture some of the episodes that has to have been the first episode that somebody saw at some point, right? I like the idea of somebody sitting down and saying, I heard about this weird show that my friends are telling me about. And some people hate it and some people love it. I got to just check this out, and watching that and for the first time and just being so utterly confused.
I always think it's funny when people are like, go to watch our show for the first time. And it must just be like, taking a bottle of vodka, just pouring it down someone's throat and just be like, you may or may not like this at some point, but here it comes.
I absolutely hate when people who meet me, who say, I've heard of your show from my kids or my family or my friends, but I've never actually seen it, but I want to start. Can you tell me which episodes I should start with? I have no answer to that. I have no answer to it.
What's the entry point?
I don't know. What's the entry
point? It's different for everybody. It's different for everybody because there are people.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, watch season 5.
Just start with season 5.
Yeah, sometimes I just watch season 5 and go back. I don't know.
I actually agree with you, Charlie. I feel like at this point, but again, that's with my sensibilities now.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I think at a certain point, I probably would have said season 3, but I think now I would be scared to say season 3 because I feel like it's a little too crazy to start with. And season 5, I feel like is really solid.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I feel like
start at the beginning. Go
maybe,
right.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I feel like your mouth would be a metaphor for that experience as well, which is you just got to open up wide and whatever gets shoved in, you got to take.
Take it in and don't fight against it.
You got to take it.
I mean, you can. Just turn it off.
Yeah, he can't. But
Well, no, he can. He can.
He
He
can't.
can. He can.
No.
He can. He was designed that way.
Yeah.
he was designed that way.
There's a great one of my favorite lines in the episode.
But if he's
is
truly,
right after that.
sorry, but if he's truly designed after Dennis Reynolds, his design should not be about my satisfaction at all. So in some ways, this doll is getting what it wants. I'm sorry, this.
But it wasn't designed by me. It was designed by Mac
Oh, it was designed by Mac. That's true. That's true.
to replace me.
If it was if
That's
it was
why.
an accurate representation, your pleasure would not be.
No, you're right. If I
all.
had designed it, there'd be
a little
wouldn't
razor
be
blade
about-
down that mouth, and that would be like
Well,
all about his
it wouldn't be
sick
about-
and twisted.
yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be a vessel for someone else's pleasure. I
No,
would
not at
be
all. Not at all.
I'd be administering pleasure and justice often at the same time.
Justice.
One of the best lines in the episode, it makes me laugh so hard, and it's such a throwaway line. After we walk in after the opening title sequence, and we're telling you, Charlie, and Frank, there's a masturbating bum in the alley, and Charlie's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that guy." But the best line is I don't know if it's me I think I come in and I go, "There's a bum masturbating in the alley," and Danny goes, "Masturbating bums are bad for business."
Yeah.
As if that's something that needs to be said. Like, like he's teaching us a lesson in that moment, as if there could be some confusion, as if we're about to have a debate as to whether that's good for business or not. He's just going to get like right off the bat. Listen, guys, I need to teach you something. I need to teach you something. Masturbating bums in the alley are bad for business. That shit made me laugh. I
think for our listeners and creeps who are young, aspiring filmmakers or TV makers or what have you, TikTokers, it's probably nice to know that I would say 85% of the time, what we set out to do doesn't totally work out, right? We've written something and we've shot something. We get into the editing room and for whatever reason, it doesn't work, right? And then we have to find, this type of music completely radically changes the episode and makes it work. Or, this scene doesn't work, but let's just have the guy masturbating in silence. And it's so interesting how it is that over and over and over again for all 15 years. Mm-hmm. There's no sort of blueprint for it. Every now and then we walk in and we're like, wow, this thing's pretty much tight top to bottom. Let's do a couple tweaks and call it a day. But it's super rare.
Well, one thing that I've noticed is that I now have the ability to watch a cut of, say, Mr. Quest or whatever show it might be, and I can watch the cut and pretty
AP
much
Bio.
What's AP what?
AP Bio.
I've never seen that. I could watch a cut of something.
He's talking about something he did in school.
Oh, well, if you want to send it my way, I can give you notes on it.
Yeah, it's like a student film.
No. Anyway, I think we all have this abilities that you can look at a cut now and pretty much see what needs to change in it. And that only comes, like, I could sit in it with an editor and watch an episode of something and say, okay, change this, change that, cut this, put a musical transition in here, lose that scene entirely, and just try that. And then you come back, and it's not 100%, but you can pretty much guess right. And the reason we can guess right is just simply because we've spent thousands of hours in editorial. And we think, in my mind, I forget it. It feels like it comes naturally, but it doesn't. It's a learned skill. You have to sit in front of, and everybody has the editing software on their phones. You just got to try. Iterate.
Then there's the weird thing too of like, you just said, I remember thinking that this episode wasn't our best and maybe a little too broad. And then you look at it however many years later, a decade later, and you're like, oh, it's actually pretty good. I'm feeling the same, right? So then there's that weird side of it too, where like you've done the work, you've put it together, you say, okay, this is the best I can make this, but I know it's not really the best it could have been. But then you go back and you look at it and you say, oh no, it probably is better than I realized it ever would have been. I would have made it worse trying to make it better. I don't know. It's
could we give a little bit of credit to our editors too? Because, especially some of those, Josh Driscoll, who's been editing for us since the original Home movie. Tim Roche, your buddy from Rhode Island, who we had, auditioned to edit the show and just absolutely crushed it right from the beginning. But those guys, they've also had, their fingerprints are all over those musical choices and some of the better edits. Some of the ways in which we can kind of tie things together and make it all feel intentional. I gotta just, I can remember a number of instances in which we came back. Yeah, I mean, often it's like, hey, Josh, we want to try something that feels like this, but then he's got to be the one to actually sift through all that music and try and make it work and edit the music and stick it in the scenes. You know what I mean? And, those guys have just done such a terrific job.
But I'll tell you what, I take that for granted because I sometimes will have to work with other editorial teams and post-production teams. And you realize very quickly, oh, wow, we have some of the best editors and editorial staff and post-production producers in the business.
The role of editor is such a huge, I mean, in a sense, they're directing, they're writing, they're you can completely, and this episode or the suburbs ones are like examples of like completely reinventing what the episode is in the editing room. The gang dines out, so many different versions of that till we landed on that sort of like Italian music sort of version of it. And you can just drastically change what it is. And there's a weird myth about like, I don't know, like an auteur, like one, and without a doubt they exist, right? Like someone whose influence is so great on all departments that, they're like a black hole sucking everything towards their vision and out comes this amazing thing. But the reality is like so much collaboration involved from the costume department to the casting to the performers to the everything, certainly the directors on our show. And like, what else is there? Craft service?
Well, no, I think that's totally valid. Is that the only place an auteur actually exists is if you're painting something or fucking drawing something, and it's just you and the medium. Now that doesn't mean you don't have people with exceptionally specific points of view that everything gets pushed
you have
through.
Like the Coen brothers who are writing the movies.
But the Coen brothers aren't acting in their movies.
They're not acting in them, and then they're also, they're being lit by the best DPs in the world.
Yeah. Roger Deakins is he's
Roger
a
Deakins
legend.
is a living legend, and and then
Teddy Photographs.
Teddy Photographs.
Teddy Photographs.
Teddy Photographs is gonna make it.
The deacon of photography.
The deacon is in the house. I know. Just
it's amazing. They took stunts, like stunt people out of the Oscars. They kicked them to off camera. The DPs, the people that are actually capturing the images.
The whole awards thing.
Well, that's a whole different thing. We have an episode about that. We'll get into
the
that.
Academy. They're atrocious. What's your line in the? What's your line in? Oh man.
We have a whole episode about that.
Boy, I'm going out to lunch with my brain tonight.
Yeah, what's going on with your brains?
I had some beer.
I know. I felt it.
Oh.
You felt it? You felt me a little groggy
That's what I'm
today?
saying. No. I mean, I felt it last night.
Or a little puffy.
It was the ET of it all. Around 8 p.m.
Charlie's having fun tonight.
Yeah.
Charlie's kicking back. It's summertime.
It's summertime.
Yeah, it was.
You playing golf?
No, well, I was, but this week I've been working a bunch.
Oh, great.
Writing and writing a lot of music.
Fun. Oh, Can we hear some of it? No, or is this for?
I'll share with you.
Okay.
And then I'll share with the public when it's more refined.
Excellent.
Are you going to make an album? You cutting an album?
I want to do something like a movie with a bunch of music in it. I don't know if I can pull it off, but if you guys weren't doing so many goddamn things, we could collaborate. But you guys are so fucking busy.
Well, I mean, we collaborate quite a bit.
That's true.
We do, and I love it. I love every second of it.
I do too.
I like the idea of putting a lot more energy into this podcast. I'm happy that we're here again together, all of us.
Yeah.
Just reaching out and touching everybody's knees here, which I know you absolutely
Are you touching me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not
you can't
feel
since the full body replacement, you can't feel the knees anymore.
Oh my God, you were just touching my hand. I saw you do it. I can't feel that.
Yeah.
Can you only feel what goes in and out of the mouth?
That's the only thing I'm designed to feel now. Yes.
Yeah. And it's not your only hole.
Yes.
Are you thirsty? You gotta be thirsty. Because I've taken so many sips of water. I'm gonna give you a little water.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not.
Lubricate it.
You got it.
I'm gonna get myself some more coffee while you're watering Glenn.
That's right. You feel refreshed, right?
Yeah.
That's
no,
cold.
you were right. Gosh, I didn't even realize I needed that.
Yeah.
That was good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You got it, buddy.
Rob, are you dressed in character right now? Is that because I thought you weren't going to set?
It sort of pulls up in there.
Yeah, that's why I poured some. Oh, joking. You okay, Glenn? He got it. You choked him a little bit. I mean, you couldn't hear it there, Charlie.
I didn't mean to choke you, pal.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
all right.
all right.
No.
No,
So, Rob, are you dressed in character?
We've
or-
already covered the way I look. Were you not paying attention?
Well, I know, but but you.
I like it, man.
I don't understand.
I'm just mixing it up.
I kind of want to shave my head.
It's very freeing.
Yeah.
We're all going to have shaved heads because as soon as I'm done, filming this movie, I won't have to wear this wig anymore, and I can shave my head.
Wow.
What else about this episode?
Yeah. Glenn, you're the host. Do you have any questions for us?
Now, Rob, the inspiration behind yours and Sweet D's costumes was the Guardian Angels,
Curtis Silva.
correct? In
Yes.
New York City.
Yeah. A group started by a man named Curtis Silva, I believe his name was. And the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s in New York City, I believe was a tough time. And I think that the general public was taking matters into their own hands and becoming their own police force. And the Guardian Angels were that force, and they would patrol the subways of New York City late at night and just beat the shit out of people.
Did they bash people? Did they bash them?
Yeah, they bashed them up pretty good. I think they were just sort of a threatening force for good from their vantage point. And I don't know how effective it was. I do know that being a vigilante has got some issues. Just in its nature.
It's kind of
we celebrate them. Batman, I guess you could say all superheroes are vigilantes to some extent.
Reckless, these superheroes, really. You know?
Now, Charlie, talk to us about your Serpico impersonation. Your Al Pacino impersonation. Was that a very influential movie on you? Did you
No.
Are you a big Pacino fan in general?
Yeah, sure. Who doesn't love Pacino? No, I think that was just more of a goof. We were like, all right, what probably breaking the story and being like, okay, we have the cop car. What are people doing? And I don't even know how we came up with that. It was like, okay, now you're just turning into Serpico. I just thought it was
I think that was something that you just, I think that was something you wanted to do.
Yeah,
you know
I think I just found it amusing.
He's going to go
like
undercover.
the ponchos and the big hats and, the choice of the poncho really, I think has so much to do with it. And just being like,
sort of like, what's the opposite of dressing like a cop? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How far in that direction can we go? And it's like a poncho and a giant beard.
Like I probably had recently seen it within a year or two of writing that episode, and I was like, what if he's just doing a Serpico thing, and then I get to do a weird. It's always fun to like be doing the impression and then having to drop it. You're like, oh, I'm walking, and you're like, now you're doing Christopher Walken. You're like, no, I'm not doing. I'm walking away. Just those little things like. But yeah, I don't remember.
I don't think it would have worked as well if you had not, as the character, verbalized the fact that you wanted to do a Serpico type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, that's what makes it funny is that it's your character being like, oh, I can do a Serpico type thing. And then your character going and getting the costume and the fake beard.
Yeah, we'd already sort of established that like my guy at that point early on was like taking shit too far. We're all taking it too far. And I take it even like further into the extremes, right? And that's sort of the joke of that character. And then I guess it was just like he wants to do an Al Pacino impression. And then I don't know. Then it's like taking the Spin Doctors mix and for the mayor. Hey, how about my jump in that freeze frame at the end?
I remember loving it at the time, buddy. And I loved it again last night. You got so high.
How'd I fucking do that?
You got
holy
ups.
shit, man!
I can't do that anymore,
too.
Man. There's no way. I think it was the tucking of the knees. I feel like I did.
I think you can get that high again.
No, man. I feel like here's what I think maybe happened. I did one, and you said one of you guys said, "Hey, try tucking your knees up, and it'll make you look like you're even higher." I think that's what happened. But it's such a good pose, man. The knees, the arms.
That's great.
I'm going to say that it's the magic of photography and a still frame in the middle and at the peak of flight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to suggest that you can still get up there. And I think we should take a camera out to the parking lot.
I think he could do it too.
Yeah, I think he could do it. He could stretch out a little bit.
Explode upon landing.
yeah, I think I'm going to break like glass. I think I could get in the air, but that was some height, man.
Okay, here's what I'd like to propose to end this episode. I'd like to propose Charlie and I going outside. Glenn, you also can join us, of course. And we're going to take I'm going to take a video of you. And I'm going to have you jump into the air. We're going to freeze frame it. And at the very end of this episode, it's going to go dun 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 dun. And you're going to be just as fucking high as you were in 2007.
Better warm up, pal.
Wow.
Better warm up.
Shit, I wish I wore more athletic shoes.
Let's go. Let's do it.